Hello and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. It is Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DailyDog, that's DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. 50% deposit match means however much you put on there with your first deposit with that promo code DailyDog, they will match half of that back in free play maximum of $1,000. So that means you'd have to put $2,000 on Underdog on your first deposit to reap that massive reward. But you can do less. You can do $100 and get 50. You can do $25 and get $12.50. You can do 10 and get 5, whatever you want. But that is the best promo code out there. You're not going to do a better than 50% deposit match bonus with that type of $1,000 limit anywhere else. So sign up for Underdog with promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com. Friends don't let friends. Sign up with worse promo codes. All right, let's get into it here. We're going to go with NBA entry number 1. We're going to start out with Ivica, Zubac, higher than 18.5 points. Clippers against Pelicans. Pelicans aren't going to have anybody who wants to bang indoors or inside with Zubac for the points. I think Zubac is going to score a lot of easy buckets here. He's been on a little bit of a scoring streak lately. It's not like he's not, this ain't Wilt Chamberlain, but it's his version of Wilt Chamberlain is what we'll say here. His last several games, he's been getting into the 20s, more frequently than most would expect. Just overall in the last couple of games, he's got 22 points against the Kings. He had 16 against the Knicks. He had 22 against the Pistons. He had 35 against the Suns. So 3 out of his last 4 games, he has crushed this number. 4 out of his last 6, he's gone over this number by a lot. I mean, he had 27 against the Lakers back on February 28th as well. So guy's scoring well. I think that he's going to, it should be a blowout for the Clippers. Obviously, big road favorites, 7.5 point favorites against the Pelicans. The easiest way to get there is by having Zubac make easy baskets inside. So higher than 18.5 points for Ivica Zubac. Pairing that with Tyrese Haliburton of the Pacers, higher than 18.5 points. Haliburton did just have a big game on the road last time out. They lost that one. This is kind of a circle the wagon spot for the Pacers. And I think Tyrese Haliburton knows full well that he needs to be a scorer here. I mean, he's going to probably get double-digit assists per usual. But Tyrese Haliburton needs to have another one of these big games. He needs to shoot well from the arc, 3-point arc that is, and make his free throws and everything else. But 28 points in his last game against Houston. And then what did I say that they lost the last game for? I don't know what I was confusing the Pacers for, but 28 points in his last game against Houston. Oh, yeah, he's been out a little while. That's why. Game time decision here as well. So hopefully he is in the lineup. But I think that, again, in this spot, the return home for the Pacers after the tough road losses there is a good time for him to have a big game. 3x multiplier of Zubac higher than 18.5 points. Haliburton higher than 18.5 points. NBA entry number 2. This one is a little off the beaten path. We're going with Isaiah Stewart, higher than 13.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He is the number 2 center for the Detroit Pistons. I think that, the Pistons should handle the Wizards here. They're 14.5 point favorites, so it's pretty baked in that they're going to handle them. That means I think that there's going to be plenty of minutes available for Isaiah Stewart. They're going to protect Jalen Duren's health a little bit, probably not let him play a ton of minutes. That means more minutes for Stewart. Good chance he can make the easy buckets and get the boards. This guy is a beast for boards. He just needs to stay out of foul trouble. But higher than 13.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Isaiah Stewart. And then I'm going to go with the Pelicans. Man, Trey Murphy III, higher than 20.5 points. This guy is a great scorer. I don't think people notice that he has had a ton of great games. I mean, obviously there was that streak where he went back-to-back 40 games, but I don't necessarily think he's going to get that here. But I do think that higher than at 20.5 points, well in the realm of possibility for Trey Murphy. Last game, 27 points, 2 games ago, 26 points, 3 games ago, 20 points. So 50% over this in the last little sample there, but higher than 20.5 points. Higher than 20.5 points feels like it's on the menu here for Trey Murphy. He needs to score a lot. He needs to get some shots up on this Clippers team. That is a 3x multiplier. NHL entry number 1, we're going to go with Ilya Samsonov, higher than 2.5 goals against. He just shut out the Penguins in his last home game. That was his last start. Now he's going to Pittsburgh. I think the Penguins are going to be out for blood, higher than 2.5 goals against. You're going to flat multiplier on this. I know the Penguins sold at the deadline. They still have Sid the Kid, still Perkel. They still have Evgeny Malkin. And again, it's a little bit of it's about pride. I mean, the Penguins know they're not going anywhere. They're not doing anything in the postseason. They're not making the postseason. So, it's about pride. They got shut out in their last one. Now they're back on their own home ice, higher than 2.5 goals allowed for Ilya Samsonov, the goalie for Vegas Golden Knights. Then we'll take Kyle Connor of Winnipeg Jets, one of the more underrated players in the NHL, if you ask me. Kyle Connor, higher than 0.5 assists. He's got 47 assists on the year here. Really, just a strong player. I think that the Jets are going to beat the Rangers. I think the Rangers struggle stopping the puck. So give me higher than half an assist for Kyle Connor. That was Samsonov, higher than 2.5 goals allowed, is 3x multiplier. NHL entry number 2, Zach Werenski of the Blue Jackets from Columbus. Zach Werenski, higher than 0.5 assists. Again, I think the Blue Jackets are going to be very live in this game against the Devils. Jacob Markstrom has actually slowed down quite a bit in his last several games. He's allowed 4 and 6 goals in games leading up to this one. I think there's going to be a lot of goals available for the Blue Jackets. The Devils just got a total gut punch when Hughes was lost for the season. Higher than half an assist for Werenski. Then Macklin Celebrini, I keep on saying his name wrong, higher than half an assist for the Sharks as they take on the Predators. Predators have won 3 in a row. Perfect letdown spot for the Preds. Good spot for the Sharks to put up 3 or 4 goals. If they do, Celebrini should be getting an assist there. 28 assists on the year. Let's get another one. Celebrini. Let's get this rookie to continue to flourish. That's a 3.39x multiplier. College basketball entry number 1, Eddie Lampkin of Syracuse. Syracuse stinks. They're playing Florida State in the ACC tournament. Higher than 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Eddie Lampkin is my pick here. I think that this could be his last college game. Eddie Lampkin needs to get the 27.5 points, rebounds, assists. I think he's going to get probably like 15, probably like 15, 12, and 6 is what I'll say. No, 6 assists might be a little optimistic, but you get my point. I think Lampkin can obviously get into the 20s with points alone, and he can also get in the high teens with a rebound. So I think higher than 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists when he's literally got to leave it all on the floor. Give me Eddie Lampkin Jr. higher than 27.5 PRA. Then Mitchell Saxen higher than 8.5 boards for St. Mary's as they take on Gonzaga. St. Mary's was, they beat Gonzaga twice this year, and in both those games, Saxen had 9+ boards. I think they're going to continue in this one. He's going to be fighting for every ball off the rim. 3x multiplier with Lampkin and Saxen. Tennis entry number 1, Mirra Andreeva, higher than 22.5 games played against Alina Rybakina. It feels like a 3-set match. I think that there could be a low scoring or a low game total set in there, but I think they're going 3 sets regardless. So Mirra Andreeva, higher than 22.5 games played against Alina Rybakina. And then Qinwen Zheng, higher than 22 games played against Marta Kostyuk. Both these women struggle to hold serve. They both have dominant serves when they're on, but they're not on consistently throughout the course of a match. I think this is another one where we see 3 sets. So 3-setter Qinwen Zheng against Marta Kostyuk means higher than 22 games played. That's a 3x multiplier. Tennis number 2, Daniil Medvedev, higher than 22.5 games played against Tommy Paul. Tommy Paul plays well in Indian Wells and on American soil. Daniil Medvedev hasn't been as dominant as he has been in the past. I think there's another 3-set match. 3-set match means high probability, higher than 22.5 games played. Then Steph Tsitsipas against Holger Rune, lower than 23 games played. I just think that Tsitsipas is playing very well right now. I think there's a good potential for this to be a short 2-set match, quick match. So Tsitsipas lower than 23 games played. That's a 3x multiplier. Lotto entry number 1, just 3 things need to happen here. Chris Middleton, higher than 11.5 points. He's coming off some rest. Come on, Middleton. You need to score. Your team stinks. This is like so absurdly low for a guy who used to be as good as Chris Middleton as the Wizards take on the Pistons. Higher than 11.5 points. Let's go, Middleton. Troy Terry, higher than 0.5 goals for the Anaheim Ducks. Troy Terry has 17 goals on the year. He hasn't scored in a little bit. He's due. Due theory. I don't usually use due theory, but it's been 5 games since he scored a goal. You're going to get 2.04x multiplier on him alone to score, so throw that in there. And then Steph Tsitsipas, lower than 0.5 sets lost against Holger Rune. 16.15x if it goes 3 for 3, but I do recommend using the flex feature for these Lotto entries. If they flex this one, 8.07x if it goes 3 for 3, 2.69x. Very nice if it goes 2 out of 3. Lotto entry number 2, Yves Missy, higher than 19.5 points, rebound, and assists for the Pelicans. This guy can have 20-point scoring games. This is a very low number. Potential blowout, potential open gym. Give me Missy higher than 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists for the Pelicans. Sidney Crosby, higher than 0.5 goals. I told you I think Samsonov is going to allow 3 goals. I think Sidney's going to get you one of those. And then Igor Shesterkin higher than 3.5 goals against. I think the Rangers are going to be in a tough spot against the Jets. Jets on their home ice. I think they're going to score 4 or more here against Shesterkin. And then Qinwen Zheng higher than 4 break points, 1 against Marta Kostyuk. Kostyuk's serve just leaves the match quite often. I think that there's going to be 4 break points, no problem here. I think Zheng's going to get broken a few times in this as well. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a short match, but I do think she's going to get 4 or more break points. 26.07x or if you flex it, you can get 15.64x and like 4.0-ish x if it goes 2 out of 3. All right, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for listening, and let's make some money.